I have an image from psychotherapy, too. Sometimes a person would be sitting on the sofa. Oh, by the way, I can't think of his name right now. Never mind. The person sitting on the sofa, and I had this poetic image in my mind that they're sitting in the circle of their suffering. And I'm sitting in the chair as a therapist, in the circle as the healing presence. And our circles are touching each other this way. And I realized that if I stay in my clinical observations, they'll be able to tell they're alone in the room. See? If I'm taking notes and I'm listening to them like this time, and I have a great insight into their problem, and I say to myself, just wait till they hear this insight, how brilliant it is. I gotta write this down. This is so great. See, so I have to be willing to put one foot in my circle of suffering into their circle of my circle of healing into their circle of suffering, so they know that they're not alone in the suffering. And they can feel it. They can tell that they're not alone this way. But if they start to share something, I work with trauma, and it was too close to my own trauma, and I could feel my own. I could feel the somatic responses to it this way. What's the fear of the trauma survivor, of a traumatized person? The fear that they owe it to you not to get too close to them or they'll bring you down. See? They have to sense that there's a depth in you that withstands the suffering and transcends the suffering. They have to believe that that's true. But you're just a human being. You're just a human being. And so I would often have this feeling that they'd be talking this way. And on my chair, I kept my eyeglass case at the side of my chair with my eyeglasses in it and my rosary in it. And they would be talking, and I would reach over and I'd touch my rosary in my eyeglass case. And outside my window, there were telephone wires outside the window, and there were birds, and I would count the birds. And they would think I was taking notes. I'd write a grocery list this way. Okay. Why? So that I could get reestablished in the groundedness, to allow me to reapproach and be there with them in their suffering. The person would say to me, sometimes they would say this to me in therapy, I feel so safe in here, this way. And I say, yes, but notice I'm not doing anything to you. See, I think you feel so safe in my presence, because I will not invade you or abandon you this way. But notice something this way. Almost always at the end of the session, when you walk out, you're in a more grounded place than when you came in. And little by little by little, you're learning not to invade or abandon yourself. And if you can learn to be more transparently grounded to the preciousness of yourself and your brokenness when you're in my presence, you can be more grounded to yourself when you're not in my presence this way.